Hello and welcome to Pace Hospital's podcast. Today, we are diving into a topic that affects many people's lives but often gets overshadowed in health conversations, that is cholesterol. Joining us today, Dr. Tripti Sharma, an endocrinologist, physician, and diabetologist having wide expertise in treating and managing cholesterol. In this episode, she will share valuable insights on cholesterol, what it is, its different types, the distinction between good and bad cholesterol, associated risk factors, and the latest advancements in treatment options. Dr. Tripti Sharma, thank you for joining us at Pace Hospital's High Tech City.
Hi, I am Dr. Tripti Sharma. I am an endocrinologist and I am practicing at Pace Hospital, High Tech City, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about cholesterol and various queries related to the cholesterol.
Let's start by understanding what is cholesterol.
Cholesterol is a lipid-soluble waxy substance that is an important part of cell structure. So, it helps in the formation of cell membrane. That's why it's helpful for the integrity of the cells. It regularizes the out movement as well as in movement of various substances in cells. It is also important for the formation of various hormones like glucocorticoids, which in normal language we know by the name of stress hormones. It is also important for the formation of sex steroids. It is utilized for the synthesis of bile acids, and bile acids are very important for the digestion of fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, E and K, and it is also an important precursor for the synthesis of vitamin D.
Could you explain the types of cholesterol and their roles in our health?
To answer this question, first we need to understand that cholesterol is a fat soluble substance. So, it cannot travel in our blood because it is hydrophobic. That means it repels water. That's why to carry cholesterol in blood, it needs the help of various transporters. And these transporters are lipoproteins. Means they are carrying lipids as well as proteins. So, on the basis of various lipoprotein structures, this cholesterol can be of various type like it very low density lipoprotein, which we say as VLDL, low density lipoprotein, HDL, that is high density lipoprotein cholesterol. So, on the basis of lipoprotein associated with cholesterol, we name cholesterol accordingly.
Dr. Tripti, could you explain the sources of cholesterol, specifically how it is produced within our bodies and the role of the foods we consume?
So, first important source of cholesterol and the only source in food items is animal food. Plant food, they do not contain cholesterol, but they contain a substance that is structurally similar to our animal cholesterol, but human bodies usually do not absorb this plant cholesterol because whatever cholesterol present in plants, it is excreted or it is effluxed out of our intestine cells, that is enterocyte, by ATP transporters. So plant cholesterol usually are not important for human being except those who are having genetic defect in excretion of this plant sterol. So first, animal food, they are the main source of cholesterol for a human. Second, our body can synthesize cholesterol itself. Every cell in our body can synthesize cholesterol, but the main domain where cholesterol is synthesized is liver.
So, doctor, how cholesterol is formed in the body?
So our body has a very efficient system for the synthesis of cholesterol. It is said that actually we don't need cholesterol in our diet because we can synthesize it. So the main site where cholesterol is synthesized is liver. In liver, we get a raw material like acetate from a diet rich in fat, which we say as triglycerides, or diet rich in sugars, simple sugars. They actually enter in liver and they produce acetate. This acetate is converted by another enzyme that is known as HMG-CoA synthetase, and this HMG is further acted upon another enzyme that is HMG-CoA reductase. So this process ultimately leads to the formation of cholesterol, and the synthesis of cholesterol is very tightly regulated. If your cholesterol level in cells decreases, there will be increase in synthesis of cholesterol by our body, or if your dietary cholesterol is very high, the synthesis of cholesterol by our body will be limited.
We often hear the term good cholesterol or HDL, but what exactly does that mean? Can you explain, doctor?
So, good cholesterol means that is good for health, it is good for heart. So, normally HDL cholesterol or high density lipoprotein cholesterol is also named as good cholesterol because it carries cholesterol from different tissues towards liver, and it helps in decreasing the cholesterol level in blood. So that's why it is named as good cholesterol, because it is transporting back cholesterol from different tissues towards liver.
Can you explain exactly what LDL is, why it's called bad cholesterol, and how it impacts our health?
So normally a low density lipoprotein or LDL is considered as bad cholesterol. First, because it carries the maximum amount of cholesterol in it. About 60 to 70% of cholesterol is carried by LDL. Second, it carries this cholesterol to different tissues. So ultimately, there is an increased risk of deposition of cholesterol in the blood vessels, not only in heart but also in brain, in also peripheral vascular system. So there is an increased risk of getting heart attack, of getting stroke and peripheral vascular insufficiency. That's why it is considered as a bad cholesterol.
Dr. Tripti, what is the role of dietary cholesterol in regulating plasma cholesterol levels?
Actually, there is a lot of controversy about the role of dietary cholesterol in causing risk of heart problem, because it is already known that the formation of cholesterol is highly tightly regulated process. So if your cholesterol level is high, our formation of cholesterol will be decreased in our body. So whether dietary cholesterol matters or not matter, if a person is completely healthy and cholesterol is dealt in a proper way, so dietary cholesterol will not contribute to increase in plasma cholesterol. But if someone is already having some genetic defect in this tightly regulated process, or already having some heart problem, in that case dietary cholesterol may contribute to increase in plasma cholesterol, and in that restriction or limit intake of cholesterol can be beneficial. So it is not like that dietary cholesterol has no role. We have to individualize and can take cholesterol but in a limited amount.
So, doctor, what are the symptoms of high cholesterol?
So normally, if the plasma cholesterol level increases, this cholesterol can get deposited in multiple sites, especially in skin. So we can find the deposit of fat and cholesterol over the eyelid, which we know as xanthelasma. These fat deposits and cholesterol deposits can also be found over various tendon. Tendon is a site where the muscle is inserted in a bone. So we can find these cholesterol deposits over the tendon. Similarly, the deposits of fat and cholesterol can be found in our palm. So these are the various sites we can find clinically in a high cholesterol level.
Can you briefly explain what causes high cholesterol?
As we know that cholesterol level is highly regulated in our body, but if we have a bad lifestyle like poor physical activity, we are obese, high intake of simple sugars, high intake of fat, especially saturated fat, all these things, they increases the formation of cholesterol and they decreases the clearance of cholesterol from blood. Ultimately, there is an increased LDL an increase in triglycerides by these things, and they can lead to increased risk of heart problems.
Dr. Tripti Sharma, what are the most effective treatments available for managing high cholesterol and how can they help improve our health?
So first and most important is modification in your lifestyle. You should have a good physical activity and diet that should have a adequate amount of saturated fatty acid, polyunsaturated fatty acid and monounsaturated. Everything we can take in a limited amount, because if we take a diet rich in fats, that is especially saturated fat, or we are taking diet rich in carbohydrate, both of these ultimately will increase the cholesterol level in plasma. So our diet should have everything but in a specified amount. There is another most important way by which we can treat our plasma cholesterol is medication. And in medication, we are having various medications that act at various steps in the cholesterol regulating process, and most important is the statins, which we know by atorvastatin, rosuvastatin. These medications decreases the plasma cholesterol level, and in trials they have shown that they decreases the risk of heart problem in a already normal person who is having high LDL cholesterol level.
So, doctor, how can we increase good cholesterol?
Good cholesterol means HDL cholesterol, because it carries and reverses the cholesterol back from different tissues towards the liver and decreases the level of cholesterol in blood. Actually, various trials have been done with various medications to increase the HDL cholesterol. But most of the trials, they have documented that despite increasing HDL cholesterol, there was not a significant decrease in reduction of heart problems. So as such, no medication is given to increase the HDL cholesterol, but it has been seen if we give medications to decrease the LDL cholesterol or triglycerides, they ultimately also cause increase in HDL cholesterol, and they have a proven role for decreased risk of heart disease. So directly we don't treat HDL cholesterol, we treat mainly the triglycerides and LDL cholesterol along with lifestyle modification.
Could you explain what causes high triglycerides but normal cholesterol?
So normally when we are eating fat, it contains both triglyceride and cholesterol. But there are certain conditions in which we can have a high triglyceride level with a normal cholesterol level. There are many genetic conditions in which the digestion of triglyceride is hampered. Because of that, the level of triglycerides is increased, but because the removal of the cholesterol from blood is normal, the plasma cholesterol can be normal. So for example, familial hypertriglyceridemia. These patients can have a very high level of triglyceride despite the normal total cholesterol and normal LDL cholesterol.
Is peanut good for cholesterol?
So to understand that peanut is good or not, we should know what is the fatty acid composition of peanut. So peanut is actually a plant source for fat and oil, and its main constituent is monounsaturated fatty acids. About 40 to 50% peanut butter, it contains the MUFA. So it also contains some amount of saturated fatty acid as well as polyunsaturated fatty acids. So definitely the monounsaturated fatty acid or MUFA is good for health. It is a good source of energy also, and they decreases the risk of heart diseases by decreasing the level of LDL cholesterol. But it is a source of energy, and it also contains saturated fatty acid. We can take peanut butter but not in excess. If it is taken in excess amount, it will cause in weight gain and excess amount will also increase the proportion of saturated fatty acids, which when taken in excess amount are known to cause increased LDL cholesterol and increased risk of heart disease.
Is ghee beneficial for cholesterol? Can you explain, doctor?
Deshi ghee has been used in India almost for very long time, and previously it was considered that it is very pure form. It is very good for health. So actually the deshi ghee that we usually prepare from animal milk, it not only contains saturated fatty acid, it also contains some amount of the monounsaturated fatty acids also, and it is a very good source of energy. But when we take this deshi ghee in excess amount, it will lead to increased calorie consumption. So ultimately there will be weight gain. Second, because the proportion of saturated fatty acid is more, so if we are using only deshi ghee for everything like cooking purposes, steaming, frying, everything, so proportion of saturated fat intake will be increased, and that is very dangerous for increased risk of heart problem. So deshi ghee in a small amount is okay, but if we are taking it as a whole source on an excess, it can be harmful.
So, doctor, can you explain how alcohol might impact cholesterol levels and what that means for our health?
So normally there is a concept that alcohol is very good, little bit alcohol is okay, but we should know that alcohol is known to cause increases in triglyceride level, because alcohol is one of the raw component that goes to liver, and it helps in the synthesis of triglycerides, which we in normal language know by the name of fat. So intake of alcohol increases the risk of hypertriglyceridemia, and this hypertriglyceridemia, if it is excess along with the cholesterol, can increase the risk of heart problem also. So alcohol should not be taken in a person who is having high triglyceride level.
Dr. Tripti Sharma, can you explain how smoking influences cholesterol levels and why it's a concern for our health?
Smoking actually contains nicotine. This nicotine actually increases the LDL cholesterol level and it decreases the HDL cholesterol. It also increasing our sympathetic system activity. So increases blood pressure as well as the load over the heart. So smoking not only increases the cholesterol level, it also increases the risk of heart diseases.
Is mustard oil good for health or not?
Mustard oil, it is prepared from mustard seeds, and it is a very good source of MUFA and TUFA. Almost 50% composition of mustard oil is having monounsaturated fatty acids, and it contains about 20 to 30% TUFA. And it has been seen that in mustard oil, the ratio of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acid is in appropriate amount. So it is a very good source of fat and cholesterol in our diet. Second, it is less costly, and it is also seen that mustard oil contains some amount of good substances that are known to decrease risk of cancer. But there is one controversy, that though mustard oil is used frequently in India and in Asian countries, but it has been banned by FDA in US and Canada. So what is the reason of banning it outside India? Actually, some studies have shown that mustard oil, it contains some substance that is known as erucic acid. So when the level of this substance increases about a particular level, it has been known that it increases the risk of deposition of fat in heart muscle. That's why FDA has banned the use of mustard oil. But in India, the associations has approved the use of mustard oil because it has been seen that if we are using mustard oil in a limited amount, the level of this erucic acid will not cross that level, and we can get a beneficial and good effects at a lower cost. So mustard oil is good for health, but anything in excess may be harmful.
So, doctor, can PCOS treatment affect cholesterol?
Yes, in PCOS, the most important treatment is lifestyle modification, in which we advise have a good physical activity and to have a diet that should be low in simple sugars and fat. So ultimately, this type of modification will help in maintaining the good plasma cholesterol level also. Now regarding the medication, so one of the most common medication that we use in PCOD is the combination of estrogen and progesterone. So as we know that estrogen is very good and affect over the cholesterol level. Estrogen decreases the LDL cholesterol, but as we get menopause, level of estrogen decreases and the risk of heart problem in females is approximately equal to that of male. So when we use estrogen in pills, it usually has a same effect, but the another component that we use in pills is progesterone, and progesterone is prepared from various sources. So depending upon the source, progesterone can have a variable effect on lipid metabolism. There are some progesterones that can increase the plasma LDL cholesterol, and there are some progesterone that can have a neutral or better effect. So when we choose estrogen progesterone combination in PCOD, and if already the family history of diabetes or heart problem is there, we should choose the estrogen progesterone combination in a efficient and better way.
Dr. Tripti Sharma, is polyunsaturated fat and monounsaturated fat good for health?
So there is a lot of information about the polyunsaturated fatty acids. It is known that PUFAs, they are good for health, particularly for heart diseases. But there is lot of confusion also, because what type of PUFA is best, whether it is a omega-3 or omega-6. Normally the studies are more in favor of omega-3. So studies have shown that omega-3 fatty acids that is more good for heart because it decreases the plasma LDL cholesterol as well as it decreases the synthesis of cholesterol in liver. But most of the studies that have used omega-3 or omega-6, they have not proven that their use decreases the risk of heart problems. Only 1 or 2 trials are available, and that too showed that the use of a particular omega-3 fatty acid in a particular amount was able to show a significant decrease in a heart problem in those who were already having heart disease. That means none of the trial has shown that use of these PUFAs decreases risk of heart disease in a normal person. So just if we are taking only polyunsaturated fatty acids thinking that it can be beneficial for heart disease, it is not true. And second, there is also a role of ratio of omega-3 and omega-6. Studies have shown that those oils which are having a high ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, actually they are more dangerous because omega-6 is also a raw material or precursor for the synthesis of echinocyoids, and they produce more inflammation. They increases risk of heart problems. So the ratio of omega-6 and omega-3 is also important, and in this respect mustard oil is very good. In mustard oil, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is approximately 1 to 2. So that is considered good according to the studies and the evidence that is available till today. On the other hand, those oils who are having the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 more than 10, they are not sure whether they are helpful or they can be dangerous. So just only taking PUFA is not the answer. We can take everything, whether it is a deshi ghee, it is a mustard oil, or it is a PUFAs and MUFAs, but we should take everything in a recommended amount. that our total intake of saturated fatty acid should not cross 10% of our daily calories. The total amount of fat should not cross about 30%, including PUFAs and MUFAs. We should restrict the amount of simple sugars and carbohydrates. We should have a good physical activity and we can consume everything but in a limited amount.
Thank you, Dr. Tripti Sharma, for sharing crucial information regarding the cholesterol to our listeners. I hope this information helps our listeners gaining a deeper understanding of cholesterol and learning how to recognize its signs, manage the risk, and explore treatment options can make a significant difference in improving their health and quality of life. If any of you have any further questions regarding cholesterol, please don't hesitate to consult an endocrinologist or diabetologist. Remember, a good cholesterol is crucial for your overall health and well-being. We will see you soon with another episode on Pace Hospital's podcast. Until next time, stay informed, stay proactive, and take good care of your health. Thank you.
Over